Welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and I am author and the voice of the podcast. This episode is very important to our team for two reasons. First and foremost, it's our 200th episode. When we started all this back in January, it has been sort of an experiment to try and see if people will be interested in our show. And we are very grateful to you, our audience, for being with us. Without you, there can be no highlights from Ukraine. We would also like to give our special thanks to our patrons, people who are supporting us with their donations. This is fantastic, and you very literally make our work possible. The second reason why this episode is important, it is because it is the first one we feature on YouTube. Yes, you heard me right. From now on, you and your friends will be able to listen to the highlights from Ukraine on YouTube. Link to our YouTube channel will be in the description below. Subscribe to us there, support us on the Patreon, and of course, stay with us. That would be the best way to celebrate the 200th episode of the podcast. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 150 days, Ukraine stands strong against the forces of the Russian invasion. Russia attacked with missiles Odessa's port facilities on the Black Sea coast of Ukraine, reports Interfax Ukraine. 2 missiles were shot down by the Ukrainian air defense, and other 2 hit the port infrastructure. The attack took place on the next day after signing of the grain export guarantees. According to the document, Russia promised not to attack trade vessels going to and from Ukrainian ports, as well as facilities of 3 Ukrainian ports, including Odessa. Oleg Nikolenko, the spokesperson for the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry, said that this attack brings into question the agreements and promises made by Russia to the UN and Turkey in the document signed in Istanbul the day before. He stressed that the attack is putting spit in the face of UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres and President of Turkey Recep Erdogan, who made great efforts to reach the agreement. The UN, the EU, and the US condemned the attack. At the same time, the New York Times quotes an unnamed UN official that Russia hasn't really violated the agreement with the recent attack, if the aim wasn't related to grain export, reports European Pravda. The Turkey defense minister talked with Ukrainian officials who confirmed that grain export facilities were not damaged. During a phone call, the Russian side said that it has nothing to do with the attack. Deputy Infrastructure Minister of Ukraine Mustafa Najem said that Russia cannot be trusted. However, with or without an agreement, Ukraine will do everything possible to export the harvest. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky in his video address said that if anyone in the world could still say that some kind of dialogue with Russia, some kind of agreement is needed, now they can see what is happening. Russian caliber missiles have destroyed the very possibility for such statements. The president said that the Russian forces tried to gain a foothold in the Kherson region. Their collaborators made various brazen statements, but it didn't help them. The armed forces of Ukraine are advancing step by step in the region. According to the US Institute for the Study of War, the Ukrainian forces are already preparing to launch or have already launched a counteroffensive in the Kherson region, reports Ukrainska Pravda. The experts believe that open-source visibility on the progress and tempo of the counteroffensive will likely be limited and lag behind events. The area between the front line and Kherson city is rural and primarily composed of small settlements that are less likely to report on force movements and engagements, allowing control of terrain in this area to change without evidence appearing in open-source reporting. Russian authorities additionally have no incentive to report on Ukrainian territorial gains. The General Staff of Ukraine informs that the enemy uses artillery and aviation to suppress Ukrainian positions, reports Grunt media. One of the key targets of the Russian troops in the Bakhmut area remains Vuglogirska power plant, where the Russian forces tried to establish control over the territory of the power plant itself but were pushed back. The US band Imagine Dragons have become ambassadors of the United 24 national brand platform and will promote the direction of medical care, reports Ukrinform. The United 24 platform and brand were created to attract support for Ukraine in the world and raise funds. According to the President of Ukraine, the platform has already raised over 5 billion Ukrainian hryvnia, reports Ekonomichna Pravda. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine. Thank you.